We are staining. I'm so nervous. I've waited for this for so long, and now, I'm nervous.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Good morning and welcome back to this week's episode where I have absolutely no idea what is going to happen today. My dream, like I mentioned last week, is that the mantle will be hung on the wall and decorated for Christmas, but if I'm being completely honest, I have no idea if that's going to happen or not, so we're just going to have to see. Today is Wednesday, and typically on Wednesday, I am in full editing mode, trying to get the video completely perfect for you guys to view on Sunday. And so I'm thinking about the full story. I am thinking about the transitions. I am researching the music and trying to figure out what the feel and the vibe that I want you to experience each week as you're watching the videos. But that's just not going to happen today because I am still working on this fireplace mantle. For the last 4 days, Mark and I have been scraping and sanding and sanding and sanding, and it is still not done. And last night, just when I was at the peak of my frustration, I got a comment from a lovely viewer, Deborah Fletcher, that really resonated with me that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm actually going to read it and I'll pop it up here on the screen so that you guys can see it as well. But it says, "I don't know how you could go wrong at this point. Even if all the paint doesn't come off in some areas, it tells a story of the many layers of life this mantle has experienced. Think about it. We've had to peel back a lot of unwanted layers of our life. While we were able to get rid of the worst, there's still a spot here and there to remind us of how far we've come, and we still look beautiful." Come on. Oh man, did that speak to me and give me the energy that I needed to keep going on with this project. And it also reminded me of why I purchased this mantle in the first place. When I saw this back in September, I knew that this mantle had lots of lives. I envisioned what it used to be. I envisioned it being in this grand ballroom hanging over a fireplace as couples were dancing through the night. I envisioned there being lots of Christmas stockings hung from it. There are so many things that went through my mind, and I just knew that I wanted to be a part of the story. And so I have taken the time and the care to put this mantle back to where it originally was. I don't know that for sure, but I'm thinking that this mantle was stained, and so I'm trying to get it in the best condition possible in order to bring it back to its former glory. So Deborah, thank you again for that comment. It really just sparked something in me, and it just reminded me that it's okay to leave some spots as they were because it's part of the story. So today I want to show you guys where we currently are, what work is left, and then I am going to head over to Lowe's to look for some stain because I think that we're just at the point where we might be able to stain this today. So how about I show you where we are so far? As you can see here, I've been able to clean up a lot of these really intricate and small areas, and honestly, it's thanks to this Dremel. If I did not have this Dremel, I honestly don't know what I would do because it really allowed me to get into these tight spaces as well as all of these spaces in between these bigger blocks. And so, I mean, if you're looking really closely, you can see some areas here that have a little bit of paint that's left. There's definitely some areas down here that has some paint that's left. But you know, some of the things that I love are like these moments here. I'm leaving that. Of course, I think that there are some people that would cover that with wood putty and then try to restain over it. But again, that's part of the story. And I really like that a lot of those pieces are going to remain in this mantle. But overall, this is kind of what we're looking at. You'll see some imperfections in the wood, and that's okay. Again, it's part of the story, and you know, because we are staining it, I think that the stain will cover up a lot of it, and if it doesn't, I think that I'm okay with that. And this spot here, we did not add this putty here. It was already there, so I don't know if there was a hole here and someone tried to patch it up with wood putty, but I think what I may do, just because there are some spots that the putty is no longer, is maybe add a fresh coat of putty just on this space, sand it down, and then stain over it. But this is the underside. This is the top of the mantle, so this is going to be the underside, so not many people are going to see it, so I think it's okay to leave it as is. But yeah, this is where we are. It's looking pretty good, right? I mean, it has come a very, very long way, and like I said, I think it's time that we can go ahead and think about staining. So I'm gonna head over to Lowe's. Of course, I'll bring you guys with me, and let's go and look for some stain. So I'm at Lowe's in the stain aisle, and what I'm really excited about is that they also have these chips here that kind of give you an idea of what the stain is going to look like on actual wood. At Home Depot, they only give you like these little pamphlets that show what the stain will look like on paper, but I like that these chips will give you a little bit of a better idea of what the stain will actually look like. So we decided that we're going to go with a water-based stain just because it dries faster and that it doesn't have like all of those fumes that's going to kind of radiate throughout the house. And so the great thing about what they have here at Lowe's is that they have tintable stains. So you can get this here. Hopefully you can see that, and what you can do is you'll take this up to the guy up at the paint stand and then basically just tell them what color that you're looking at, and then they will create the stain for you, the stain color for you, and I think that's pretty cool. So what I am thinking about in terms of color is I really don't want it to be too dark. I don't want to hide all of the imperfections. I want to highlight some of them. And so while I don't want it to be too dark, I also don't want it to be really light. So I'm thinking about, and let me turn the camera around and showing you the two colors that I kind of am liking the most. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this special walnut. I typically go with a dark walnut. I just kind of like the darker tones, but again, I do not want this mantle to be overly dark because I think it might just be too dark in the overall space. And I like here that you can still see the wood grain, but it gives you a little bit of lightness, but it also gives you just a hint of the darkness. And I think that special walnut might be a really good choice. So another thing I'm thinking about getting, and actually Mark suggested it, is this pre-stain wood conditioner. And I think because our wood is pre-loved, this is going to allow us to prevent any further blotchiness in the wood. It's also going to control the grain rising, and it also allows for the stain to be cleaned up with soap and water. And so I really think this is going to be a good option for us to do before we stain the wood. So I'm gonna grab a can of this, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the special walnut, as well as, I keep going back and forth if I want to do the pecan or if I want to do the dark walnut, but I definitely want to get two of them just in case one doesn't work, or again if I'm going to have to mix them together. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I'm going to go ahead with the special walnut and the pecan, and then I'll take that up to the guy up at the paint counter and have him mix it up for me. It's pretty easy. I really like it. All right, I will see you guys in a moment. So I got the stain, and now I need to get some heat resistant paint for the surround of the fireplace. When we removed the old mantle, we noticed that the stone that is around the fireplace wasn't completely painted, and so there's a strip, I'll pop this up here on the screen, but there's a strip up at the top that is still kind of gray, and so I want to get some paint that will just make everything look the same, everything look cohesive. And so there's this Krylon heat resistant paint. It has resistance up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit, but unfortunately they only have white here. They do not have black, so I'm going to have to go to another store after I leave here to get the black, but I definitely want that space around the surround to look all the same and look really pretty. So I gotta find that. And then next I am gonna go and find some wood, because we have the mantle, we have the surround that will be painted, but then now we have to actually build out the sides on each side of the fireplace, and I hope that we're gonna be able to get that finished this week as well. We will see. So I'm going to go find some wood and take that home. Unfortunately, I forgot to measure, so I think I kind of know how wide I need the wood to be, but it's just going to be a guess. So I'll take it home, see if it works, and then I'll have to come back later on and pick up some more. So let's go over to the wood aisle. Just as I was leaving this aisle to go to the wood aisle, I found some. Actually, this is Rust-Oleum, and it has heat protectant up to 2,000 degrees. So I'm definitely gonna take this, and I'm glad that I found it because I really did not want to go to another store. So, okay, now we're off to the wood aisle. So I don't know what type of wood that our mantle is. I have no idea. So I just want to get something that I know that's going to be highly stainable and good quality. So I'm looking at these oak boards. I don't know if it should be oak or if it should be pine. I'm not sure, but they have these thin boards that I kind of like, because they don't have to be, the sides don't have to be thick, because we're going to kind of be building it. I don't know if you can see it, but kind of mitering those two pieces together to build the sides. And so it can be hollow in the inside. It doesn't have to be solid all the way through. And I'm just not sure though what type of wood I could get. I kind of also was thinking of maybe banging this up a little bit and maybe getting some scorch marks in there and kind of getting some dents and maybe some nail holes in here, just so that it can kind of mimic the fireplace, because I don't want the sides to look brand new and then the fireplace to look kind of, you know, old and vintagey. So I'm gonna keep looking. These little sample sizes actually might be the right size. I know that you can't see it here on camera. Maybe if I stand up and show you. So it comes up. So it comes up to about my chest. So I'm thinking that's about as tall as we need it, but I have no idea. So all I can do is take it home and try it out, but I'm gonna keep looking. So one last thing before I go home, and that is trim. I don't know how we want to trim it out, how we want to decorate those side pieces, and so I see some trim here, but I just don't know what the design is going to be. I haven't thought about it. All I've thought about is scraping and sanding, so I am trying to figure out what that could potentially look like, and I'll show you a couple of options. So I kind of like this, and I like the kind of little ridges that they have here. I just don't know, will that go with the design of the mantle? I'm not sure. There's other little pieces, you know, I could maybe do like something like this that kind of has like a rounded edge to it. I don't know. So I kind of like this one here. And I like it because it kind of has this little bevel here that offers a little bit of design. I know you might not be able to see it on screen, so I'll show it to you here, but it kind of has like that little bevel there that I kind of like, and I think would look nice at the very top of those side pieces. But I don't know. I don't know. This is something I just didn't think about until right now. I've just been thinking of sanding and getting all of the paint off, and I don't know, but maybe I'll just take a couple of pieces home and just kind of think of some designs. Guess what? It's time for staining. I honestly did not think that this day was going to get here. Today is Saturday, by the way. The video is supposed to be going out tomorrow, but as you can see, it is not because we haven't stained just yet. We just finished all of the sanding. We blew everything off. And then the next step is that we are going to use this, where is it? This pre-stain conditioner that I told you guys about when I was in Lowe's. So we're gonna put a layer of that over top of everything. I think it says that we have to allow it to dry for 30 minutes, and then after that we can put the stain on. And I am so excited and nervous because right now it looks really beautiful, and I'm just hoping that when the stain goes on it's going to be even more beautiful. So I am going to change in something that's more stain friendly in case something splashes up on me. But I just had to tell you guys that it is time for staining, and I honestly couldn't be more excited. So here we go. I will see you guys in a minute. So like I said, we are going to be using this pre-stain conditioner for all of the wood. So I'm going to be using this lint-free rag to just kind of wipe it over all of the wood, and then in some of those little tight areas I have this brush. And I've never used this before, so hopefully it's gonna work. Hopefully it's just gonna make it very beautiful, the stain very beautiful and nice and even. That is the goal. So let's get started. I'm so excited, you guys. So excited. All right, let's do this. I've waited for this for so long, and now I am nervous, but we gotta do it. So, I have the stain already opened. We are going with the special walnut that you saw whatever day that was. I think that was Wednesday. And yeah, I'm just hoping. I know that this is vintage wood, so I'm not expecting it to go on completely even all the way on this mantle, but I don't know. I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh. Okay. Should we do it? All right. This is how we do it. Okay, I'm just gonna do it here. We have stain. I am so excited, and I think it looks really good for its first pass. Now, when we looked at the directions after drying, it stated that we didn't have to sand in between each of the coats, but when looking online and when looking on YouTube, it said that if you sand in between, then it'll give you an even better finish. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna sand in between. And so we're gonna take this 220 grit block and just very lightly sand over everything, and then I'll go ahead, add another coat of stain, then I'll sand some more, add the last coat of stain, and then poly it, and then we should be done. We'll see. So before I get started, I wanted to show you some areas that I'm just really loving about the mantle right now, and I hope that as we put more coats of stain on it, it's just going to pop even more. So this is what I'm talking about. I am absolutely loving this area here, even these areas in here on these end pieces. I just love how the stain has kind of soaked in a lot of those like divots that's within the wood, and I just think that it looks so beautiful. Same here. There's some moments that are over here that you can see that I just really love. I think even the same here on the back. Like, I love this, that you can see some of the paint there that was left over. That didn't happen on purpose, but that's a very happy accident. And then again back here, just really loving these little moments within the piece. Good morning. There's nothing better than this to get you started in the morning. But anyway, the last several days have been very busy over here. We have worked really hard to get the mantle completely stained and looking beautiful. And here she is. Doesn't she look amazing? I am absolutely thrilled with how she turned out. Originally, I wanted it to be a little lighter than it turned out to be, but because of all of the different types of wood that was used to create this mantle, it just did not afford us using a lighter stain on it. So what we did is we ended up using 3 coats of that special walnut stain, and I think that it looks really beautiful and rich, and I think that it's going to look great in our living room. It's going to match the floor. It's going to look really beautiful against the armoire and the glass cabinet that I'm putting in the dining room. I think it's just all going to pull together, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. So now we are ready to polyurethane the mantle, and luckily it's only going to take a couple of hours for that to dry. So I'm going to spend some time this morning getting that all ready and prepped. I want to just wipe everything down on the mantle just to make sure that there's no, dust particles or anything sitting on there before we go ahead and polyurethane it. And then as that is drying, I am going to be working on cutting some wood for those side pieces of the mantle. And so if you remember, several days ago, I went to Lowe's and picked up some wood samples to see which type of wood would match our mantle the best. And so what I did when I came home is I stained each of them to see which one would match. And I have this one here, which is the popular pine, and this is the stain. This is kind of what the stain looks like, and this is only 1 coat, but we'll have to do a couple more coats to really match the mantle, but it really looks good next to it, and I'll show you that in a little while. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that wood and start to prep those sides that will go on the mantle. So once we put the mantle up, then we'll go ahead and build out the sides, and then it will be time to finally decorate. I know that you guys have all decorated your homes by now, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't have a single decoration up in my house, and like Christmas is less than a week and a half away. Who am I? I don't even know how that's possible. I honestly don't even know how that's possible, but here we are. We're gonna get it decorated hopefully this evening. So let me stop talking and let's go ahead and get started with the polyurethane. So I'm gonna use this Minwax water-based spray, and I think that it's going to be really great because when I have done other projects and painted on the polyurethane, it always just seems to go on really thick. So I think that this is going to give us a nice even coat, at least that's what I'm hoping. And I'm going with a clear satin. I didn't want the piece to be too shiny, but I also didn't want it to be matte, so I'm hoping that the satin is going to give me the look that I've been wanting. So let's try it out. is looking really good already. I'm gonna allow it to dry and then we'll see if I need to go back and do any touch-ups, but already it's looking really, really good. So there's a smile on my face and I don't know why, but as Mark and I were just about to put the mantle on the wall, I noticed something that I hadn't noticed this entire time, and it is that the bottom of the mantle should be sitting directly here on top of this surround on the fireplace. Fine and good, it's always been the plan. What I didn't take into consideration is that the two pieces on the side, well, they hang down a little bit lower than that centerpiece, and I'll pop it up right here on the screen for you so that you can see what I'm talking about. But the only way that we can now get the mantle on the fireplace without there being a space in between the mantle and the surround is, I think, either cutting this piece here, so cutting that piece completely off, which I think this is like a cement board, so how we cut that, I have no idea. Or we cut out a piece here and let those two pieces kind of sit in that area. I have no idea. But somehow, one way or another, this mantle is getting up on this wall today. And so the thing is, I just don't know how, so stay tuned. I'm telling you, for the love of this mantle, look at this wall, look at this wall. All of our beautiful white paint. Oh my goodness. But don't worry, everything that you see here, we have a remedy for it. Obviously, we have extra paint left over from the paint job. And then for the surrounds that we will be building at another time, not for this video, that will go right here. It's gonna cover all of that going all the way down. So that's nice. But for now, we are just going to get the mantle up. I am going to decorate it, and then we are going to call this baby done for a while. And then I'm gonna take a break. Can I drill?
Yeah, do it.
Oh my God. I'm drilling. I'm drilling. The mantle is up. I could just about cry. We have put so much time into everything. You guys have seen it, everything. And to see it now up on the wall, wow. And it's solid. I mean, we have it into studs. Mark created this system that I don't know how he thought of it, but it worked. It's up here. I could probably hang from it. Not that I'm going to try. Oh, he's showing you what he did.
So I took a piece of cardboard and I measured it to the exact. We then found the studs with our stud finder, which happens to be right there. We found the studs, and then I marked the location of each stud. In here, we also gave a little test drill behind the scenes here, just to make sure that where we thought was a stud really was a stud. And it was. And so once we had it, and we just had to put this into where we're going to drill the holes. That was our template. We pre-drilled the 4 holes right into studs.
How about that? Pretty exciting. So I know that you can see the heads of the screws right now, but earlier today I found these wooden buttons, I guess you want to call them, and what I did was went ahead and stained them the same color as the mantle, and then I am going to then glue them in place over top of the screws, and you won't be able to see it. What you'll see instead is just 4 little dots along the front of the mantle, and I think that's gonna really look nice and finish it off. And then there's one other thing that I want to mention before we decorate, and that's these pieces that will be on the side of the mantle. So this is the wood that I cut earlier, and we'll be cutting it to size and then building a box to create legs on each side of the mantle. And I think it's just going to look really, really nice. I also want to add in some strips of decor on the outside just to make it look a little bit more vintagey and a lot less new. I definitely don't want the look of just one flat board on the wall, so we still have to figure out what that's going to be. But I did want to show you that we will be covering up the mess that we made a little bit earlier today with some beautiful legs that we plan to build ourselves.
It's time!
What do you think? It's pretty amazing, isn't it? So, I mean, I guess the only thing that I have left to say is, Mark, what do you think about the mantle? Before you told me that I had lost my mind, and so tell the people what you think.
All right, Jessica, I still think you lost your mind. If the people knew how much work was involved, how much effort getting every little nook and cranny cleared out and getting it ready for sanding, they would think we're both crazy. But I gotta say, looking at the finished result, everything fits nice, everything lines up nicely, everything came out beautifully, nice finish, great job. I like it.
Do you like it or you love it?
I like it today. Hopefully I'll love it tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for...
And if you have
Seriously.
If you don't have a solid relationship, do not try this with your partner.
That's fair. Well, anyway, that's all we have. Thank you so much for sticking with me these last several weeks. I couldn't do it without you guys' encouragement to keep going. I hope that you love it. And when we come back from the holiday break, I promise to have those sides done on each side of the mantle. But as it looks right now, I honestly could not be happier. So have a happy holiday, and I will see you guys in January. Bye.
Holy night, send me someone to love so I can hold their hand while we're ice skating around the trees, Central Park. Kiss them under the mistletoe. Oh, I want a Christmas kind of spark.